Begin in the center of your mat, reaching one arm slowly all the way around, up, and bending over to the other side. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, feeling the openness in the side of the body. And on a nice deep inhale, sitting back up and bringing that arm down, back to the side. Same thing on the other. Lifting the arm up overhead and bringing it over. Stretching out the side of the body. And bringing that arm back down as well. And this time we'll bring both arms up. Nice big inhale, the arms come up. And bringing the arms back down again. And one more time, bringing the arms up overhead. And exhaling them back down. So now that we're moving with the breath, we're going to take a step up to the top of our mat. And we're going to take a nice deep inhale here. Arms come right up overhead. And release the arms. And this time we're going to give a nice slight bend in the back. So we're going to reach up. Big inhale, and we're just going to bend back a little bit, extending the neck backwards. And then releasing back down to our sides. One last small back bend. And releasing the arms and the upper body all the way down to the floor, where we place our hands on the mat. And we're going to step back, one foot at a time, into downward dog. Pedaling the heels, taking some deep breaths here. Stretching out the backs of the legs, making sure the neck is hanging, rested. And the first thing we're going to do is take that right foot right up above us, stretching up into one-legged dog. And taking 2 or 3 deep breaths here. Keeping the weight balanced between the 2 arms and the 1 foot that's still on the ground. And lowering that foot back down. And the other leg comes up on an inhale. And taking in a couple of big deep breaths here as well. Spreading the fingers, spreading the toes. And bringing that leg back down as well. And slowly taking our knees down to the mat to rest in child's pose for about 3 breaths. Recovering from all that upper body work. And coming back up, tucking the toes back into our downward dog. Feeling it a little deeper this time. The legs are a little straighter and the heels are a little closer to the ground. This time we're going to take that right leg up. And then we're going to bend the knee and let it fall. Let the foot fall right behind us to open up the right hip for a nice big stretch. Still balanced through the feet and hands. Just letting gravity pull that leg down. And on the next inhale, bringing that foot back down beside the other foot. And when you feel ready, inhale, lift up the left leg. And doing the same thing, bending the knee and letting the foot fall behind us. letting gravity pull the leg behind for a nice deep stretch in the hip. And bringing that foot right back down and coming back down to child's pose for a couple more breaths to rest the shoulders and recover back to a normal breathing pattern. Coming back into our downward dog, we're going to shift forward into a plank position, and from here, we're going to take our right leg bringing our right leg forward in between the hands, dropping the knee, and coming up, using the knee for support, lifting the head and neck, bringing the arms up overhead, sinking the hips down towards the mat, feeling a nice deep stretch here in the extended leg. Letting it get a little deeper with each exhale. And on the fifth breath, bringing the hands back down beside the foot, tucking the back toe under, lifting the hips up and straightening the back leg and the front leg if you can. If not, keep a slight bend there. You can come up and use your knee or use your thigh for support. Don't touch the knee. Use your thigh for support to try and extend that back and extend the front leg. Keeping the hips square towards the top of the mat. And if you're feeling more flexible, bringing the hands down and reaching with the top of the head towards the top of the mat. And on the fifth breath, bringing the hands back down to the mat, pushing the hips up into the sky, and putting the feet right back together. Repeating on the other side, taking the left foot in between the hands, dropping the right knee, coming up into a lunge, and reaching the hands up overhead, sinking the hips down into the mat. Letting the shoulders fall back down the back. And finally, bringing the hands back down to the mat, tucking the back toes, sending the hips up to the sky, and extending the front leg. Again, you can come up here and go for a nice extension in the back, or if you're more flexible, bring those hands right down to the mat. Make sure to try keeping the hips square to the front of the mat, and the shoulders down, back away from the ears. And finally, bringing the hands back down to the mat, bringing the feet back together, up into downward dog, and bringing the knees down to sit on bended knees. From kneeling, we're just going to let our legs come to the front of us with knees bent, carefully rolling down, so we're lying down on our mat. to take the right foot, cross it over the bent left knee, so it's right above the kneecap. Here we're going to reach our hands through to the back of our left thigh, hold them together, and then let those legs fall back down towards the floor. Pressing the lower back into the mat to create some resistance, but mostly just letting gravity do its thing. You can shift the left knee from side to side a little, pulling it out to the outside of the mat will sometimes give you a stronger stretch in the right leg. But just doing whatever feels good. Taking a nice couple breaths here. And then putting the left foot back on the ground and the right foot. Bringing both knees into the chest for a quick hug here, in case there's any tension in the lower back. And then bringing the feet right back down to the mat. We'll cross the left ankle over the right knee, so it's sitting right above the kneecap. And same thing, our hands go through to grab behind the right thigh. And letting gravity pull those legs back down to the floor, pushing the lower back into the floor a little bit, but not so much that we end up arching or tucking the legs back in. And just moving that right leg a little bit inwards and outwards to find a comfortable stretch in the left glute. And finally setting both legs back to the ground again, bringing both knees back up for one last hug, just to relieve any pressure we might have put into the lower back before we roll to one side. And sit up. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.